A homeless woman stole a phone from a car parked on the street, and when she decided to check its contents, she saw videos that shocked her. This marked the beginning of a major police investigation. Hi friends, you're watching the Dronis channel. Today's video is about the case from Anchorage, Alaska. I usually don't cover cases from the United States and Europe, but this one I find very interesting because of how random everything was uncovered by one very brave woman. As always, if you'll find this video interesting, please leave a like at the end and let's begin. This story began in Anchorage, the largest city in Alaska, which is surrounded by a picturesque nature that attracts enthusiasts, but also is known for its cold winters. On September 30th, 2019, a mortified woman came to one of the police departments and reported that she had found an SD card on which, in her opinion, there were video recordings of a murder. Her name was Valerie Castle. As it later turned out, Valerie was very nervous also because she was a sex worker who had previously obtained the SD card illegally. She stole it along with a phone from the glove compartment of one of the cars and then decided to examine the phone's contents. Shocked by what she saw, even knowing she could be arrested for theft, she decided to turn to the police. The police started examining the content of the SD card and they were shocked. The card contained 39 still photos and 12 videos that were labeled "Homicide at Midtown Marriott." The images and videos showed a woman lying on the floor, being beaten and bloodied, in a room that apparently resembled a hotel room. And during those videos, an unknown man was beating her relentlessly. At some point, this man is heard saying, "In my movies, everyone always dies." And he later also said, "What are my followers going to think of me? People need to know when they are being serial killed." This video was horrific and apparently very hard to watch. The man on the video had a pretty distinct South African accent, and while watching them, the police officers didn't doubt that those videos were real. Another one of the 12 videos on the SD card showed this man using a wire or a cord to strangle this woman. And later, after apparently hours of torture, he said, "My hand is getting tired." Then a foot seen stomping on this woman's throat while she's struggling to breathe, and this man just yelled, "Just die." There also was an image taken on September 4th that showed the same woman on a rolling hotel luggage cart near a black pickup truck. In at least 7 images, the woman is seen lying face down on what appeared to be a black bed of a truck. The police initially failed to identify the victim in the video, but they began an investigation. Because of how the videos were labeled, it could be assumed that the murder took place at a Town Place Suites by Marriott, a hotel in Midtown Anchorage. 2 days later, on October 2nd, a caller informed the police that human remains had been found outside the city, on Seward Highway. It was a very scenic place, about 18 miles from the Marriott Hotel. It was obvious that the woman whose remains were found on the highway was a victim in the video found on the SD card. On Thursday, the police identified the victim as 30-year-old Kathleen Henry, who was an Alaska Native woman. She was a divorcee who was single at the time of her death and struggled with addiction. Meanwhile, the investigators working on the case while reviewing the videos realized that they recognized the voice of the person in the video. Overall, there aren't many people in Anchorage who speak with a South African accent, but the voice reminded them of the voice of 53-year-old Brian Steven Smith, who had previously been involved in some unnamed cases. By comparing his photo from the police file, the officers determined that he resembled the man in the video. Brian Steven Smith was born in South Africa in the Queenstown area, and he later immigrated to the United States. He became a US citizen in September of 2019, and there wasn't much information about him despite his previous run-ins with police. According to his Facebook page, Smith was married. His wife worked at the US Immigration and Naturalization Service. They married in 2013. Smith called himself self-employed and went to Queens College. On his Facebook page, he often shared photos of landscapes and nature, and also photographs with his wife. Overall, from the photos and videos on Facebook, Smith seemed like an ordinary middle-aged man who was very passionate about hiking and admiring nature's beauty. Nothing in his social media accounts indicated that this person could be a cruel murderer.
This is the beaver dam.
The police checked with the hotel, Marriott in Anchorage Midtown, and learned that the man had been registered to a room there from September 2nd to September 4th. The carpet seen in the hotel room where the murder took place matched carpets in the hotel that police visited. Based on all of the information gathered, on October 8, 2019, around 3:30 p.m., Smith was arrested at the Ted Stevens International Airport. At the police station, while being interrogated, Brian did not deny his involvement in Kathleen's murder. When they showed him the videos taken in the hotel, Smith said that he could see himself in the video. He recognized his hands, legs, and so on. But he said that he simply doesn't remember anything that was seen there, as if it had been erased from his memory. But he just admitted that he recognized himself.
I do not remember this. I don't remember this face. I don't remember. It's my truck. That's my truck. It's my voice. That looks like my shoes. I wear jeans usually. It looks like jeans in the picture. I do not. I've got a blank on. If that's me, I've got a total blank. Something's blocking this out of my mind.
And in addition to that, while being escorted to the bathroom, he told the officers who escorted him, quote unquote, "I'm going to make you famous." And then he confessed to another murder. Smith told the investigators that he was responsible for the death of 53-year-old Veronica Bouk. He said that he fatally shot her somewhere between 2017 and 2018. Smith had picked her up in Anchorage while his wife was out of town. When he took Veronica to his home, they had a conflict between them, after which he became upset, retrieved a pistol from the garage, and shot her in the head before dumping Veronica's body north of Anchorage, as he did with Kathleen. He told the police where the body was left, and authorities later found a skull with a hole from a bullet wound. Meanwhile, the police began searching Smith's home address. The search lasted for almost 12 hours, and his wife Stephanie had no idea that he could be involved in anything like this, and she only knew her husband in a positive light. The police seized all electronic devices from Smith's home, and dried blood drops were also discovered by forensic experts on the carpet in his room, leading to this piece of carpet being taken for examination. It was evident that if Smith was involved in anything, his wife had no idea and did not oppose the police investigation. Smith's neighbors also knew little about him, as he was not particularly sociable. But the police detectives were also interested in the words that Smith says in the video. It is unlikely that when the man says, "In my videos, everyone always dies," that he only met Kathleen. This phrase most likely means that he had more than one or probably even two victims. Of course, this is speculation and everything is alleged, but during the video, the man is also heard talking about his followers. But who could he be talking about? In the darknet, which is kind of hidden internet, where all of the messages are encrypted and users are much harder for police to detect and find, there is a high demand for prohibited videos, especially violent ones. Wealthy individuals who are using anonymity of dark web are paying huge sums of money to buy those videos, and the prices often reach tens of thousands of dollars. And obviously such high prices attract violent people willing to do anything for such money. Allegedly, Smith addressing his so-called followers was not accidental, and the video with Kathleen is not the only one. Perhaps he recorded these videos not only because being a sadist and he wanted to rewatch them, but also to sell them later. But here arises the question, were Kathleen and Veronica his only victims? Could it be that a person with such inclinations only started committing crimes at the age of 50? Or were these far from the first videos he made for his so-called followers? Even the phrase, "What are my followers going to think of me? People need to know when they're being serial killed," suggests that Smith called himself a serial killer and probably felt a certain sense of pride in what he was doing. And also considering that Smith moved from South Africa, it is harder to investigate his life there. When the trial began, Brian Smith pleaded not guilty. His lawyers planned to base his defense on the argument that Valerie was an unreliable witness because she had legal and drug problems, and that the SD card with the phone she stole should not be considered by the court. However, the police had numerous additional circumstantial evidence of his guilt. For example, his mobile phone was registered by cell towers near the MacLeod hotel on the day of the murder, and later in places where the bodies were found. During the trial, jurors were forced to watch 30 minutes of videos and photographs showing Smith killing Kathleen. The videos were horrifying, and the jurors found it difficult to endure watching them. Also during the trial, Smith's text messages to one of his unnamed acquaintances were disclosed, in which he expressed a desire to show him some video recordings, presumably referring to recordings of Kathleen Henry's murder.
This is from Smith's phone. I have something to show you, period. Something I can't keep for too long. Need to find a secluded spot to meet. And he responds, I was not up, comma, sounds like you were having a lot of fun. I did have fun, wanted to share.
Judging by these messages to his acquaintance, Smith enjoyed what he was doing very much, and he probably liked rewatching his videos. And he also was eager to share them with this unknown acquaintance, who later refused to testify in court. Maybe violent videos was something that they both enjoyed, watched, and discussed from time to time. But more information about this unknown acquaintance wasn't published by police. But here arises the question, what other videos Smith made during his life and later deleted? 23rd of February 2024, Smith was found guilty of all 14 charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder, for the deaths of Kathleen Henry and Veronica Bouk. Smith will get mandatory maximum of 99 years because there is no death penalty in Alaska. I think one of the heroes of this case was Valerie Castle. She was defenseless, she had no protection, and she could easily be arrested by police if those videos, for example, were faked because she stole someone's phone. But she was so shocked by what she saw that she was able to risk her own freedom to show to the police officers her findings, which eventually led to Smith being arrested. Valerie probably saved maybe 1 or even more people of horrifying death if Smith could have continued what he was doing. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.